All right, family, let's get into it. Today we're going to talk about the myth of heartbreak. Okay, I know when we go through a breakup or when a person we love passes away, we feel that achy feeling in our heart. We always say that that person has our heart, they're my heart. We always associate that hurt feeling as your heart breaking. We even hear of couples that have been married for 70 years and say the husband or the wife passes away, and then not soon after that, their spouse also passes away, and they contributed to a broken heart. Well, let me tell you, broken heart is just a myth. The heart cannot break. The heart resonates at a frequency of 528 is what we call love. And in that frequency, the only thing that exists is healing, nurturing, empathy, compassion, right? Humility, looking out for others ahead of yourself. These are the things that hold the frequency of 528. So there is no death. The heart cannot break because the heart only wants to do is love and extend itself unconditionally. So the heart cannot break. What you feeling, right? That pain is real. Don't get me wrong, as I've been through it as well. That pain is your ego dying. It's an ego death, okay? Because we invest ourselves as how we define ourselves in our environment, mostly through our egos, as we've been conditioned since birth to think that we are our egos, which is motivated by fear, which is motivated by hate, which is motivated by low self-esteem, lack of understanding, not wanting to be embarrassed, not wanting to be held accountable for things that happen to you, always a victim, right? So it's that part of you that is breaking. And sometimes it takes a traumatic situation where someone that you love, someone that you've invested in, is torn away from you, or they leave you suddenly without you knowing it. And that pain you associate with the heart is not. It's an ego death, okay? Because the ego always has to have things in its proper place at all time. The ego does not live outside of its box. It carries its box wherever it goes, and that box imprisons you by humiliation, by fear, by what you think other people will think about you, right? The embarrassment. All those things are non-existent, but the ego makes them real. It's the monster in you that tells you that you don't look the part, that you're never good enough, that people despise you, that you're not attractive, that you're stupid, that you're whatever it is, okay? So all those insecurities that the voice tells you in your head, that's your ego. So when something that you love, something that you invested, suddenly is torn from you, it's that feeling is the ego dying. Because now the ego has to reconstruct how it defines you and the reality you live in, right? It has to create a new box. And that takes time to destroy the old box that the ego placed you in, and now it has to place you in a new box. The heart only wants to do is love. The heart only wants to do is give of itself, show humility, right? Die for a cause greater than itself. Self-sacrifice, nurturing, loving, healing, compassion, empathy. That's all love can do, and that's all contained in the heart. But we have been convinced that the heart is weak, that the heart is fragile, that the heart is exposed. It's not. The heart is exposed because the best way to protect the heart is being vulnerable. That means what the Buddhist says you're unattached from physical things. There is no investment in the physical. It loves unconditionally, no attachment. That's what the heart does. That's why the heart will love even though someone goes against it, betrays it, so on and so forth. That's when the ego steps in and says, no, no more, and creates this prison that you lock your heart into. But your heart only wants to love. So the heart is impossible to break because the heart holds the frequency of love, which is the greatest, most powerful frequency in the universe. It's God consciousness. Cannot be destroyed, will be here. The Alpha and the Omega. Okay? It's the ego that must be destroyed in order for you to build another prison for you to call yourself in. It's an ego death. The heart, you can't fool with it. Peace.